Welcome to Six Rings and Counting. I'm your host, Corey Idle, and joining me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the dude every GM in the NFL is calling right now. But stop, because we're the only ones that could put a ring on it. My man, my friend, Mr. Lou Willard. Lou, how we feeling?
Man, look, I'm doing great. You sent me this app. I don't know how to work this damn thing, so we just gonna fly by ear with this bad boy. I tried, but you know me. Now I'm like, ain't that it? Ain't that about nothing?
Love it. Right now, Steelers fans, Yins is in a holding pattern. Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin are doing their thing, figuring out everything. And with no news comes a mock draft.
And the thing is, he's the quarterback. They got a contract in place. I think they're trying to wait till after the draft before he signs it, which is smart on his part. I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan, but that's also the same reason Kirk Cousins won't waive his no contract, no trade clause. Right. He wants to wait till after the draft and then he'll waive it, and then he can move on. But that's all Rodgers is doing, because do you really want to sign there? Then they draft a kid that they want to start right out the gate and you sitting on the bench? You know, even though you are Aaron Rodgers, your ass can go to the bench too.
I guarantee you that's why he wasn't going to the Giants ever, because they were going to draft a quarterback.
And quite simply, you can't win with the Giants right now. You can't win with the Giants. They don't have that. I mean, they got a decent receiving core. I mean, you got one of the best young receivers in the game, but you have no running back. You know, the line is suspect. It would just be a bad situation for him if he went over there.
And
so take his ass over there.
That is all we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers today. We are diving in. 2 weeks has been too much, and you know when they sign him, we're going to have a show about it. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that stuff. Hit the notification bell so you know when new stuff airs. That being said, Mr. Willard, it is time to draft. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm going to get off your show, because you sent me this stuff and I still can't see. Okay, maybe it's that. Maybe I got to enter the draft room. Yeah, there we go. Hey, man, look, if you need anything technical done, you call me. I got you.
That's it. We're going to do that probably never. But we are going to start the draft right now. The Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Lou, is there even a doubt at this point that Cam Ward's going there?
No, it's Cam Ward all the way. They haven't looked at another quarterback. They haven't entertained anybody else, and they're smart enough to take him.
Yep. Cam Ward, number 1 overall. They're going to be quarterback in the Tennessee Titans. Cleveland at number 2. I have a feeling, Lou, this is going to be Abdul Carter. I think part of the negotiation with Myles Garrett was getting him some help on the other side, and you got it.
I can't argue with you much, but knowing Cleveland, I can see them taking Travis Hunter here. But I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you on your bookend picks, because they know you got Lamar and Burrow, and now you're going to have Rodgers in Pittsburgh. You got to provide a pass rush. So I'll agree with Abdul Carter.
All right, we'll go with Abdul Carter right there, helping Myles Garrett out, and that's a great pick for Cleveland. That dude is generational talent.
He's going to be good. He's not going to be a bust.
No. New York Giants, fresh off of the Jameis Winston signing, are next on the clock. I mean, this is Shedeur Sanders all the way, isn't it?
It's Shedeur. It's Shedeur Sanders. I mean, the personality, the limelight, he fits the New York glamour. Now, you may have to, if I'm them, I'll start Jameis though, and let him work in about that 5th or 6th game, and then you bring him in.
100%.
You know, because Jameis is just going to be your backup. I know they got another kid there, Danny Dimes or whatever they call him or whatever, but he's not in competition to start anywhere. But I will let Jameis start about, depending on where their bye is. We don't know that because the schedule hasn't come out. So if they had an early bye, let him play through the bye, and then you bring the kid in. Unless he just blow you away from day one, which he won't do that.
No, I don't think he's going to do that at all. The guy that will blow people away day one, though, this is just a given. Number 4 for the New England Patriots, Travis Hunter. He'll play receiver the majority, I would think, because they are desperate for receiver help at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're and then knowing Vrabes from afar, used to know him personally, but more from afar now. He likes his defense, but he's already set that up.
Yeah.
So he's going to go with the best available player, and quite frankly, that's Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is arguably the best player in this draft. So if you can get him at 4, and you can fill 2 spots in one, namely receiver, and you can fill him in at the DB position for 10, 15 plays a game, maybe in the nickel spot. It's a can't miss pick. Yeah, can't miss pick.
Totally agree. Now we'll start to get into the weeds a little bit. We got Jacksonville picking number 5. You got Mason Graham on the list as the top player left. Will Campbell at tackle. They just signed Walker something. I forget their left tackle's name. They just signed him through to a 3-year deal. They're good at running back. I don't see him going after Ashton Genty. Possibly this McMillan kid out of Arizona at receiver. What are you thinking, Lou?
I mean, they got rid of Christian Kirk, so I see him taking the receiver.
Yeah.
Because he's the best receiver on the board. Their running backs are serviceable enough, especially with the division that they're in, that I don't think they need to leap for Gente right now.
Yeah.
But you do need a receiver. And this kid is supposed to be the real deal. So I think they go with McMillan out of Arizona.
Done and done. Next on the clock. This is an interesting pick for me, Lou. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. I think if Dallas doesn't trade up, and for everybody watching, we are not doing trades. That's all hypothetical. We have no idea what the actual trade involvement is going to be. So we don't do that here. You can go to one of those other Fakakta shows for that. This is just who these teams should take. Will there be trades? Yes. Do I think anybody's trading outside of Dallas to come up here? No. And I think this is because, in my opinion, Lou, Ashton Genty goes to the Raiders.
He absolutely does, and we'll get to Dallas, and they got to make up for losing Brandon Cooks too. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that pick as well. But right now, in this pick, if you're the Raiders, how can you let this kid go? You got Geno, so you know you're gonna need a steady running game because Geno Smith he's a bridge quarterback right now.
Yep.
But if you have him and you have Brock Bowers, and you have they're still high on their receiving core for some reason. I'm not as high on it as other people are. But you're talking about they calling this kid a generational talent as a running back. You have to take him. You have to take him and take that pressure off of Geno Smith and get some ball control going for your offense in a division where you better have the ball or you're going to be giving up points.
Facts.
They are arguably now in the toughest division in football.
Oh, I don't even see how it's arguable.
That division got really tough really quick because the Chiefs, they lost a lot, but they're still the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Nix is proven to be the guy. You just went and got Geno, and the Chargers went and got Jim Harbaugh. That's going to be a hellfire division. That thing's going to come down to the end. But, yeah, so I can't see them passing up Ashton Genty.
Locked in at 6. Number 7. This is where we get muddled, Lewis. Because we got number 7 on the clock, the New York Jets. All of these teams coming up for probably the next, 10 to 15 picks need a little bit of everything. So where do you see the Jets going? You got Mason Graham here. You got Will Campbell.
They have Justin Fields. So I'm going Will Campbell, the offensive lineman. I'm going tackle. And because you got to protect him. You got to protect him because he's going to run. Your defense is not, it wasn't as good as you thought it should have been, but you could get away with not taking a defensive tackle here. And I will go with the offensive tackle to give Justin Fields some help. There's some skill position players available, but I don't think you don't need Gente because you have 2 decent running backs. I don't think there's a receiver worthy of going this high in the draft outside of McMillan. So you would be reaching. So I'm going with what could be a 10-year starter or offensive tackle if I'm the Jets.
Totally agree with you.
So that being said, they'll probably take Will Howard. That's what the Jets do.
And speaking of awesome ownership, with Will Campbell off the board, we're on to pick 8, the Carolina Panthers. Wow.
The Carolina Panthers.
Once again, we have a team that needs everything. And with this,
They need
I have to go strongly into the Mason Graham pick just because he's the best player available.
He's the best player available, but you have to keep in mind this is Bryce Young's 3rd year, right?
Yes, sir.
I would draft Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State,
Okay.
to give him weapons because he needs weapons. You're going to have to pay him in a year and a half, and you got to know if he's worthy of paying. You get the kid some weapons because you're going to have to pay him. You're going to decide to pay him, or you're going to decide not to in the next 18 to 24 months. So
Oh,
I would go tight end with them because this kid is good. This kid is good.
Oh yeah, 100%. And on to number 9, the New Orleans Saints. Once again, a team that kind of needs a little bit of everything. And I'll be honest with you, Lou,
Yeah, this is
they're in a rebuild right now. They got some cap issues. Could
they
you see
do.
them
They have
sneaking in and
severe cap issues.
yeah. Could you see them sneaking in here and taking a Jackson Dart just to plan for the future?
No, what I could see them doing is taking Will Johnson out of Michigan and
Mhm.
replacing Lattimore because
Okay.
they've let too much go on that defense. And Tampa Bay's firing right back with Godwin, Evans. I think their 3rd guy's McMillan, maybe. I could be wrong. Then they have nice pass catching running backs. And I just
Mhm.
told you Carolina's going to take Warren. So they're going to have somebody that can guard somebody on the outside. So I would see them taking the kid out of Michigan, the corner out of Michigan is who I would see them taking. I think they'll go defense because they have to stay in games. They
I
have to
like it.
stay in games.
Makes total sense to me. Number 10 on the clock, the Chicago Bears. Excuse me. They've done a lot of rebuilding here over the free agent, had a great offseason. Lou, where do you think they need to go now to hit that next level?
Do we still have Mason Graham on the board? He's no
Yes, we
longer
do.
on the board then because I'm having a little trouble following through on my end, following through what you have going on. So if I draft a player twice, just let me know. But I see them going Mason Graham because they've done enough on offense for this kid. They've done enough. Like he has the
Mhm.
weapons on offense. He has no excuses. So what they got to do is solidify that defense. And if they can slow some teams down, they should be able to put up some points. And so I can see them going defensive line because you got to stop Detroit's run. You have to stop Green Bay's run, and you got to stop the Vikings' run. And they're all in your division.
Yep.
They're all in your division, and they're coming with good running backs. I know Aaron Green's a little long in the tooth, and that's okay. But you got Josh Jacobs. You got both them young kids out of the young boy out of Detroit is just nasty. Gibbs is nasty. So
Mhm.
you got to be able to get a run stopper in there to slow some of these guys down. Or you can have all the offense you want. You're just never going to get the ball back. You'll lose
Right.
time of possession every game.
Right, exactly. And just to give you guys an idea, when we are talking here about the defensive side of the ball, their defensive tackles are Grady Jarrett, who's old, and by
Yeah.
NFL
So
standards, he's old, and
yeah,
Gervon Dexter Sr. And while that is great, he was a 2023 pick. He's young. But you pair him now with another big bully up there, like a Mason Graham, that's a wrap.
yeah,
Your run defense is on lock.
and the thing is, you need three. You just can't have two.
Oh,
We've been
100%.
saying that about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has to get one.
Yep.
So you have to have three. If I'm not mistaken, and I could very well be, but the Bears run a 4-3, so they need
Yes.
four. They
Mhm.
don't need three; they need four. So to pass a guy like that up right now will be a mistake with all the offensive talent that you have on the other side of the ball. They have plenty of offensive talent.
100%. Moving on, pick 11, San Francisco 49ers. They are in a bit of a quick rebuild. You know they're about to sign Brock Purdy to a massive contract. There are some small rumors running around about him being traded. I do not see that happening in any way, shape, or
No, God,
form.
no. He's not.
Christian McCaffrey will get traded again before they trade Brock Purdy.
Yeah, why would you? If you want to trade Brock Purdy, Pittsburgh will take him. Because all the kid
Any,
does is win. I don't care if you like him or not. All he
yeah,
does is win.
yeah.
But
Almost every team in the league would take him except for like 5 or 6 teams because
you
they're
know,
on lock.
and if we're going to go off of our, they've lost a lot. They traded Debo.
Yep.
So this is a team that could. They like to do a lot of different stuff. I could see them taking this kid out of this tackle out of Missouri, but
Yep.
this is the pick that would not shock me if this team took Emeka Ibuka because
Okay.
he plays a lot like Debo. You can stick him in the backfield. He can run short. He can run long. All he is a football player. And you just lost one. You just lost one. So that would be my surprise pick in the first round. But if I had to put money on it, I would say they're going to take an offensive tackle because Trent Williams, even though he has the big contract, he's also 35, 36 years old. He may not hold up.
Right. And let's just go with this Amika Ibuka pick. Let's see what happens with it because I like that there for San Francisco. It locks in Brock with
It's a
another
great
young
pick for them
receiver. Yeah, I mean that.
because now they have the young kid they picked last year, and
Mhm.
then they have Ibuka. You got rid of Debo, who's older. Yeah, I didn't like them trading Mason. I didn't like that trade. I thought they should have kept him.
Yeah,
But now they gave him to the Vikings, but you still have McCaffrey, you still have Kittle. So pulling a Muka into that a Becca into that group along with Ayuk if he can come back healthy. And is it Pearsall that they got?
yeah, Ricky
That's a
Pearsall.
that's a that's a formidable group, man.
Yep,
That is a formidable group. So I mean
100%.
I would like that pick.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Number 12 on our clock, Dallas Cowboys. Pew! I'm a cowboy. I can't win shit.
Dallas Yeah, Dallas Cowboys draft has been shot up already because Gente's gone, and I just gave
Yep,
Ibuka away to somebody else.
yep.
This one here has me baffled. Um, who do you take? I you got to get somebody to keep because you got your best player and Parsons talking about leaving, so you might have to take an edge just in case he does because he's kind
Hmm.
of fed up with them. So you
Yeah,
can take it one of these edge rushers out of Georgia. I mean, there's two of them right here. You can take your pick, but if we're gonna go highest on the board, you go Walker, or do you go offensive tackle? Because I believe they've lost another lineman, and you got a quarterback that's prone to getting hurt.
yep.
So this might be, if I had to take a pick, I would say the tackle from Missouri is who I would have to go with.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think it'll be interesting. They got Tyler Guyton right now. He was a 2024 first round pick. On the other side at tackle, they got Terrence Steele. This is his 5th season. I could see them taking this tackle from Missouri, putting him on the right side, doing a little Pittsburgh special with him, and
Yeah,
really just trying to get Dak some protection because that's the best. Like you said, that's the best thing they got. And
they
even
got to
if you
keep.
go, they have their edge rushers, are Micah, as you said, uh, and this young kid Overshown,
Yeah,
who they drafted. I
and
think he's 1 or 2 years in the league. So tackle seems to be the smart place to go just to shore up whatever offense you're going to try and put on the field as a Cowboy.
and this next pick, I have no idea. This is our producer's pick here. What I
Yep.
mean, what are they doing?
I honestly
I,
don't know. I think to me, they're going defense here because their defense was pathetic last year. It
well, yeah,
started to
you
come
lost.
around and da 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 da, but
Yeah, but when you lose Phillips to the torn ACL, I think his name was Phillips, but
yep.
um, you lost a couple people to some big time injuries. So I can see them going. They need a cornerback too. So this kid out of
Hmm.
Texas could work for them, but they also need They need a defense. I
Yeah,
mean, so
anything.
if I'm the Dolphins right now at
Mhm.
pick 13, I'm going with the best available defensive player,
Yep.
regardless of their position. The
And on
best
our
available
list, that
defensive
is
player.
Jalen Walker, edge rusher out of Georgia.
There you go. That's where I would go.
Lock it in. Indianapolis Colts are next at pick 14. Again, they've made some moves this offseason, and their depth chart is looking decent. But boy, I don't know, man. Are you sold on Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs? Do you even like
No,
this offensive line? Like their guards are really good.
yeah, but they need more help on the line. First
Yeah.
off, they're a team that needs a quarterback. You're dealing with
Well,
Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. You need a quarterback.
yep.
So you're not getting one right here. So that's just not even worth bringing up. I shouldn't even have brought it up.
No.
But I would go. They have a solid enough offensive line. I think they need a playmaker. Who's the next playmaker on this list? Because these are all
Offense or
tackles and edges
defense?
that I can see. Yeah.
Your next big, well,
Oh, that's
you got a tight end down on the list with Colston Loveland out of Michigan. Your next
I
receiver
mean,
would
you
be
could
Matthew Golden out of
you
Texas.
but you know what? What pick are they 14? And if he's your 20th rated player and
Hmm.
you think he has some skill set, he might be your guy because you have to get playmakers. They don't have
Yes.
any because you're not getting the quarterbacks are who you have. So I
Hmm.
suggest you get some damn playmakers around them, as many as you can get. Caleb Downs gets hurt a lot. Michael Pittman is always available. Jonathan Taylor is available. But that's it.
Yeah.
I think they need to take the next best offensive player, which will be this Matthew Golden kid out of Texas.
Matthew Golden out of Texas. Sorry, but you now have a quarterback that can't get you the ball. Number 15 on our
At
list.
least you playing a dome, nobody.
That's it. Number 15, this team last year drove me insane. I thought they were an automatic at edge rusher for Dallas Turner. They ended up taking Michael Penix. Lou was the only one that called that correctly, ended up working out for him. Here they are, 15, the Atlanta Falcons. Do they go where they should again and take an edge rusher in
They
Shamar Stewart out of
absolutely will.
A&M? Okay,
You can stop this one right now. They stopping right there in Shamar Stewart. That's it.
boom.
They're taking the edge rusher.
Done and done. Next on the clock, Arizona Cardinals, the team nobody ever really seems to give a shit about. And for good reason. Why would
They're
you?
just they're just kind of in the league, aren't they?
Yeah, they're here.
It's just kind of in the league. Like, what do they need? I don't even know what they need. This is a
Uh,
team I know really nothing about. So if I
no.
was going to say anything, when I start to figure out these teams I really know nothing about, I look at their divisions.
Hmm.
49ers are going to run the ball down your throat. The Rams are going to run the ball down your throat. Seattle's going to run the ball down your throat. So I suggest you find yourself a good defensive tackle.
Yep.
You better find somebody that can plug a run up, which is one of these the next Michigan kid you come across. That's that
Kenneth Grant.
Kenneth Grant. That's the kid.
Yep.
That's the kid I want Pittsburgh to take, but he won't be there. He won't
No.
be there.
So we're
And I think he
saying
go. I
Arizona's
think
going
he
to take
goes
them.
here. Yeah, I think
Makes
he
sense.
goes
Yeah.
here.
Looking over their defense real quick, if you're the one Arizona fan out there, they've they're good. They're getting a little older. Their cornerbacks are young. Their safeties look okay. So I wouldn't necessarily be too concerned with that. But you're right. Their offensive line, or their defensive line, they got Josh Sweat, this free agency, and that's it.
Hmm
There's
And,
nobody
and
else on that list impressive. So
and
I
quite
think Lou's
frankly,
100% right.
They're in a division where every team's going to run the ball.
Yep.
They're one of the few divisions in football where the run is first and the pass is second.
100%. 100%. Next on the list, the Cincinnati Pussycats spent all their money on 3 players, and now they have nothing.
They are in a world of trouble.
Oh my
They're in a world of
gosh.
trouble.
It's
Um,
glorious. If I didn't
uh,
have so many Bengals fans in my family, I would be much more happy about this. But
if what does
boy,
their tackle situation look like? They have Orlando Brown Jr., right?
they got Orlando Brown Jr. on the left. They just drafted Amarius Mims on the right last
Okay,
year.
so they're good there. They're
Yep.
good there.
Guards
Um,
are okay. Center's Ted Karras. He's good. Veteran, but he's
the
good.
what they need is
They
I,
need
I
defense.
if I'm them, I'm going with an edge rusher because Hendrickson's not happy and he may not be there. So I
Yep.
will go with this Micaiah Williams out of Georgia. If I'm
100%.
Cincinnati, just in the event that Hendricks does leave, and if he doesn't, you just play this kid on the other side.
Yeah, the only place I
But
could see them going other than edge rusher is your cornerback position because they got tore up last year. Now,
yeah,
I will
yeah,
say
they're
they
older.
were
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were young and they were injured. So do you throw another young cornerback out there or do you just let these guys get their experience and take their lumps?
Well, and that's why I go edge rusher to pair with Hendrickson because the easiest way to help a cornerback is to have pressure on the quarterback.
Mhm.
If he under pressure and don't have time to stand back there and throw, you don't have to be the greatest cornerback in the world. If you can't
Facts.
get to the quarterback, you could have Deion Sanders and Darrell Revis out there playing opposite each other, and they're going to give up passes because you can't
Right.
guard everybody. You can't guard all day long. So I would go with the edge rusher, and again, you're dealing with teams that's going to want to run the ball at you too in that division. So
Mhm.
if you can put a little squeeze on that and help that ball control and get Burrow that ball back, that's their best shot of winning.
Yes. Totally agree. Totally agree with you. Next up on our list, number 18, the Seattle Seahawks. They are pretty good on offense. They got Sam Darnold in free agency. You got Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. They're not going anywhere. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Cup, Marquez Valdez Scantling as your three main wide receivers. Noah Fan at tight
Yeah.
end. Your offensive line is okay. I'll always look, as far as Lou and I are concerned, 9 times out of 10, everybody needs more offensive linemen. That being said, you have to be in a
Yeah.
reality. Um, Going from a base 3-4, they are old on defense and need some help.
They are, and they're in a division too where again teams want to run the ball, and I understand that. So this isn't going to make a lot of sense. But I'm either going one or two players.
Mm-hmm.
The Campbell kid out of Alabama makes sense because he's a linebacker.
Yep.
But you have such a good cornerback in Witherspoon. Imagine if you pick up
Mm-hmm.
Barron out of Texas and
Yep.
he's just as good as Witherspoon. You got two lockdown corners on rookie contracts.
Yep. That's
So
exactly what I was
I'm
thinking.
and if you're going to get to the playoffs, that's not your division anymore. You're in the playoffs. These teams are passing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go with the Barron kid out of Texas if I was them.
And that will be if he's there, that they should have that pick in about 3 seconds.
It should be really easy and just pairing with the corner that you already have. And then you can go out and figure out who else can because they can guard for a while.
Mm-hmm.
While you get some pressure on the quarterback, now you just got to find those guys that can do that.
100%. 100% agree. Next on our clock, we are getting closer, Lou. The big team is up. And then we have to ask ourselves, do we care what happens after that? But for right now, number 19 on the list, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay is a team they got long in the tooth on defense. I think they need a linebacker. So I would see uh, Mr. Campbell coming out of Alabama going down to
100%.
Tampa
Could
because
not
they
agree
just lost
more.
Davis is if he's still there, but if he's older.
Yep.
I think he may have left, but even if he went back, it's time to move on and get some younger
Yeah, their
needed linebackers.
linebackers right now are they got Yaya Diaby, Anthony Walker, Levante David, and Hassan Reddick.
That's what I meant. Levante David
Yeah.
was a hell of a ball player.
Yep.
He's going to be in Hall of Fame. He's going to be in Hall of
Uh,
Fame conversations. Don't I think he might pull a Heinz Ward and never make it, but he'll always be on
mm.
the ballot. But it's time to get younger in that position for them.
Yeah, and this one of those good guys too, where if you drafted Jack Campbell, or I'm
He'll
sorry,
teach you.
exactly, he's going to teach him.
Yeah, he'll
I gave
teach
you
you.
the wrong name, but yeah, he's going to teach him really
Yeah.
well. They will be a great pick for them and lock the anchor down for their defense for the future. Number 20, the surprise team, I think, of last year, the Denver Broncos. They are interesting.
This team is very interesting. This is where you can see, because you have Sean Payton, he wants to run the ball. Who's the second best running back left? This could be a shocker, and it could be a Travion Henderson, a Quentin Johnson come off this board way earlier than anybody thinks they would. But they fit his zone scheme system.
Yep.
He don't give a damn about where you got them ranked at. He care about how they fit in his system. So this might be a reach, but I'm going to say he's going to, since Travion is ranked a little bit higher at 47 over 50, I'll say Travion Henderson. And I could be completely wrong. But with the way the style of offense they play, they have some decent running backs, but they don't have one of these two running backs.
That is true. I will agree
quiet
with
as kept.
you.
Quiet as kept. If I'm making the pick, I'm taking Quentin Junkins is who I'm taking if I'm the Broncos. So we might want to switch that.
I will agree with you that they will go running back. I could totally see that. They definitely need the help. However, the kid that has been making the most noise right now, post-combine, is Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. And I think he fits the Sean Payton system a little better.
And I see that, but what I look at too, and this is by no means am I saying I'm right. Ohio State played top five teams. This kid played at North Carolina. These dudes split time and both went off.
I get you.
And so I'm just looking at the level of competition, the bigger stage. But Tony Romo came out of Eastern Michigan.
That's
Roger Staubach came out of Navy.
Drake May came out of North Carolina last year. Would you like Drake May right now?
So look, that's why I say I know I'm not right. And this is more homerism out of me. Shit, that's just bottom line.
Yeah.
Get me
I didn't want to say it, but you're making a homer pick here.
I am. I'm absolutely making but to my credit in this situation, I haven't seen Hampton play a lot. I really haven't. I think I've only seen play like 3 games. And of course, I never miss a Buckeye game. So that really isn't helping the decision. But I would go with Quentin Junkins. But I'd understand if you put Hampton up on the board. I could agree with that.
We'll go Junkins for right now, and every team in the league is celebrating. Dallas is doing everything it can to trade up and get Omarion Hampton at this point in time. They are so happy.
Are they really? Because if they was, they would be going to get Genty.
Oh, I think they're going to try and get Genty. I just don't think anybody's moving before the Raiders want him. I think pretty bad. Anyway,
they better be wanting him.
We're spending way too much time on the 20th pick when at the 21st pick is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers. Who are you taking?
This is crazy. Okay, so are we going under the assumption that Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then you got the receivers. You need a corner. I don't think any corner, right? We definitely don't need tight end. We don't need a safety. I think what they need to do, if you're going to have Aaron Rodgers and you have Mason Rudolph, and I know we all laugh at him, but what he will do is he will teach. So this Jackson Dart kid, like you said about the Hampton kid from North Carolina, is making all this noise coming out of these combines and everything. But the first kid I initially bought up was Milroe. Remember they had Justin Fields?
Yep.
It would not shock me to see Pittsburgh take Milroe in this position. I think they'll take Milroe or Dart.
Well, since I gave you the Ohio State pick the last time, I'm going to take the Jackson Dart pick this time.
And I like it.
I'm following in order.
I absolutely like that pick.
I like Jalen Milroe. I really do. I think the track record for Alabama quarterbacks is a lot like the track record for Ohio State quarterbacks in the 90s, which
It's
is,
real shady.
yeah, you
It's
don't
real
really
shady.
know what you're going to get.
You know,
Jackson Dart,
and
though, if we sign him, is there a Pittsburgh fan that's unhappy?
nobody, I don't think, well, I mean, somebody's always going to be unhappy, but I don't think they should be because you have Mason Rudolph the teaching why he sits a year watching Aaron Rodgers and he'll
Yeah.
be in the same film room with Aaron Rodgers. The
Yep.
thing is, you don't have to worry about Rodgers teaching him now because we know Mason will.
Right. Exactly.
Mason will try to help him.
And he
So
doesn't
when he
have to
gets,
play. Mason can play. Like
oh my
this kid
God,
can
he doesn't
sit literally the entire year.
Somebody give him one of them little blue Microsoft iPads and tell him to go stand over there and learn something. If Rodgers get hurt, he still ain't playing.
Yep.
It's going to take 2 injuries to the quarterback to get this kid to play.
Yep.
And that's,
don't get it
that's
twisted.
okay.
It's Pittsburgh. It could happen.
It's the NFL. Seeing dude tears Achilles jogging onto the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I would love any quarterback here. If it is Milroe, I'm fine with it because again, he's not playing. He gets a year to sit. And I think any of these guys, whether it's Dart, even if it was Shedeur Sanders, him sitting for at least a year is the best outcome for any of these guys.
That's the best thing for him. Unfortunately, Shedeur is going to be put on the field because you draft that high, you're going to play.
Yep.
You know, and you just hope that it works out for him and Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Hope it works out for them because they're getting stuck in the game right out the gate. That's just bottom line.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And even though we aren't going to care, we'll still do it. We love you guys. Number 22 on our list, I almost said San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers.
They're taking Mike Green, edge rusher, out of Marshall. I'm going off the highest of the board. They got to replace Bosa.
I'm glad you said it. I was going to do a lot of blah, 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 but you're 100% correct. That's where
they got to replace Bosa.
That's where they're going. No question. Number 23 on our list, the Green Bay Packers.
They're going, according to their GM, they're going wide receiver because they said they have to get a number 1 wide receiver. I think I've already had Ibuka drafted way high.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Mr. McMillan went where he should have went. So I'm not sure who the next receiver is that they might take a stab at. It's just, I can't pronounce Mr. Eric's last name.
Eric Manmar. I know I pronounced that right, but I don't care. Luther Burden, Jaden Higgins. I mean,
they're going. Wow. They're going. I would say the guy ranked 31st is who they'll probably go with because they said they need the number 1 wide receiver. Hell, Josh Jacobs came out and said it. I'm like, bro, you got to be careful because you got these dudes in the locker room with you too. But I get his point because they're always hurt. So I think they're good everywhere else. They're staying in games. They rarely ever get blown out. They're always in the game. They just need a game breaker. So if they think this kid's a game breaker, then that's who they should take. But I think they're taking a wide receiver.
They have at tackle 2022 round 7 pick Rasheed Walker at left tackle. And at right tackle, they got Zach Tom, who's great. He's not going anywhere. So with that, if Kelvin Banks is still there, who's the 14th overall player in this draft at tackle from Texas, do they take him and just shore up Jordan Love? Or do you really think no, they're going wide receiver, period?
Well, that's almost impossible for me to answer because I don't know how much they love the tackles they have.
Right.
If they're looking at this kid going, no, he's just better than one of them, so they'll take him. If not, and if they're serious about trying to land the number 1 wide receiver, you'll either see them trade on draft day, or they will be taking Mr. Banks as a tackle because you got to have some players. But now that you bring that up, though, you gave your quarterback $275 million. I'm taking the tackle.
Okay.
And then hopefully this kid is on the board in round 2. I don't know where their round 2 pick is, but
Mhm.
hopefully he's still on the board in round 2. Then they pick a receiver up.
I like it. Next on the clock, 24 Minnesota Vikings. Once again, this is an interesting pick. They have exactly one quarterback on their depth chart. He's never taken an NFL snap. I
Right
don't
here,
think
they're
you're going to
not taking
draft
a
a rookie.
quarterback
No,
because he can't help the other rookie you just drafted.
exactly.
So he can't do anything for you. What I would think they would do, they're going Jay McCarthy. And you might not agree, and a lot of people won't agree. But I'm taking Loveland out of Michigan, the tight end.
Yep.
I know they have Hawkinson. I know, but he has been hurt. And now you got both of them to play in line like the Steelers used their two with
Exactly.
Washington and Freiermuth or Haywood and Freiermuth to take some of that pressure off of that quarterback. And this kid is just a football player.
Yep.
He's a good run blocker. So he can ease you up and then he can create space in the running game. He can catch the ball. He can get Hawkinson out for a couple series and keep him interested. And you still got 2 studs at wide receiver. You're giving this quarterback all he needs to succeed. So that's who I'm taking. I'm taking the tight end out of Michigan if I'm them.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if you do have questions at your tackle positions, you set another blocker next to him. You're there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. Tight end makes the most sense there for them. Number 25 on the list, the Houston Texans. They let go of
I
Laramie
don't.
Tunstall. They're rebuilding
Yeah.
on that offense for sure. The defense is suspect, to say the least. And left tackle, they got Cam Robinson. He's solid. Right tackle, they got Trent Brown. He's solid. He is long in the tooth.
But he's old. I think they need
Mhm.
to be taking a young offensive tackles who I think they need to take because they should have never traded Tunsil. So
Yes.
whoever the next tackle is who I would be snatching up.
And
Looks
this
like
isn't
Mr.
bad.
Cameron Williams.
I actually have Josh Simmons out of Ohio
Oh,
State.
Is it Josh? Okay, yeah,
Yep.
Josh out of Ohio State. Then that's who I would be taking because you got to protect that quarterback.
And just to give you
And
guys an
you,
idea out there, Josh Simmons, he's ranked 25 on the all-purpose list for this draft. Houston's picking at 25. This isn't a reach. It's not a stretch. You can play him right or left side, and he gets to learn under Cam Robinson, who's young but is incredible, and Trent Brown,
yeah,
who's borderline Hall of Famer.
exactly.
Next up, 26 on the list, the Los Angeles Rams. Interesting offseason for the Rams. They're definitely moving more towards that run game, as you've mentioned numerous times.
Yeah, they
Kyron
are.
Williams is a stud. Do you take a
I mean,
quarterback here?
I'm running out of players to give away because like they need a tight end because they're old at the tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
They could still replace a defensive lineman because they haven't recovered from their defense played pretty good though, but you're
Mm-hmm.
still trying to find another guy to help out with the loss of Aaron Donald. So I could see this being a Walter Nolan pick. I mean, I know I'm not going to help you out at all here, but I can see it being Tyler Booker, you know, because they just need they don't need a lot, but they need enough in every different space they need a player at.
Yeah.
So they can even go wide receiver because Devontae Adams is old. Puka Nakua told you today he's retiring. He's 30.
Yep.
I know that's 7 years from now, but he's already telling you he's leaving when he's 30. So they could find a receiver, something that fits their system. Like it wouldn't shock me for them to take a quarterback. I've mentioned 6 different positions.
Yep.
So coming down to it, if I had to take a guess, knowing who the coach is, being McVay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go Quinn Ewers or Will Howard out of Ohio State. Just
Yep.
because they're both smart. He'll eliminate their turnovers. I know they both turn it over too much. He'll eliminate that. So I'm not worried about that part of it. But they're smart enough to pick up his system.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you with Quinn Ewers. He gets to sit behind. It's a lot like the system we're going to have in Pittsburgh when Rodgers signs. He gets to sit behind Matthew Stafford and Jimmy
Stafford, yeah,
Garoppolo and just learn. He doesn't have
and
to
just learn.
play. He just learns. And when he steps in, he's still got a good running back. The offensive line for them is pretty young. Their interior offensive line is incredibly young and talented. Yeah, I think this is the way to go for them. And their defense is serviceable. It's not great, but you're in the middle of a rebuild. You're going to be doing that over the next,
And,
probably the other rounds you're drafting at.
and they're deep. They're keeping them in games. I mean,
Exactly.
this is the only team in the league that will score 42 and lose and score 14 and win. They will
Yep.
play both ways.
Yep.
It's the craziest shit, and that's a
Yeah.
credit to the coach. He can play any style of game. He can coach any style of game.
Yeah, Sean McVay's a lot of fun. Number 27 on the list, the arch nemesis, Baltimore Ravens.
They pass on their pick and don't take anybody in the first round. Hell,
I love it. They time out. They time out because they're busy scratching their ass and they're shaking in fear knowing Jackson Dart is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. They really didn't lose anything. They have got to get a receiver. I don't
They
care
need
about anything else for that team. They have kicked the can down the road way too much.
Yeah,
They need a receiver.
And don't forget they need a linebacker now too because Malik Harrison came over to Pittsburgh.
That
So
is
they
also
got to
true.
go highest rated player, whether it's receiver or linebacker. That's who they have to take.
Rated on the board higher. Rated on the board
Is-
higher is Luther Burden. He's a 31 overall wide receiver out of Missouri.
That's who I'd be taking. I'm
Done
hoping
and
he'd
done.
work out.
Yep. 100%. If they could only keep their rookies healthy, they might do something. Number 28 on the list. This is where the rich start getting richer. The Detroit Lions.
At pick 28, Malachi Starks is still on that board. He would not be on the board when I got done picking.
Yep.
Their defensive backfield was atrocious. It was terrible. That pick should be in today.
Yeah. And to give you an idea,
just wait the next 30 days to turn the ticket in.
If you went at cornerback, and this is where I start to side a little bit more with Lou. If you look at the cornerback position, they got Maxwell Harrison at 37. He's out of Kentucky. I don't know if I like that too much for my cornerbacks. Siobhan Revelle Jr. He's out of East Carolina. Again, these guys could all turn out great. Numerous guys have. But when I'm talking about I need an impact player now, especially when I'm the Detroit Lions and a Super Bowl team, I'm going Malachi Starks because he played out of Georgia. He's a safety, and he can cover that back end real nice for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Number 29 on our list, the Washington Commanders. This is interesting.
Do we have any solid tight ends left worthy of going in the first round? Because I'm not sure we do. But if we do, Zach Ertz is getting old.
Yeah, you got Arroyo's been making some waves out of Miami. He can definitely go in the second or third round, though. Mason Taylor out of LSU. He's going to be there.
Nah, I'll pass on that. Those guys will be there.
Yeah, the first thing I'm looking at is interior line. You got Nick Allegretti. He was drafted in 2020 or 2019. He's a 7th round pick. And you got starting on the right side, Sam Cosme. He is a good player. 2021 pick out of Texas, 2nd round. I'm going with if I'm going best available, my pick is Tyler Booker out of Alabama.
It's Tyler Booker. Yeah, because you got to stop that interior pressure from flushing your quarterback, even though right now he's still young enough to run, but you don't want him running around because he'll get hurt.
And he did it so much, he bruised his damn ribs. You don't want him having to play through that every year. Get Tyler Booker, lock him down. And by the way, you got Brian Robinson Jr. back there, running back, who's a dog.
Yeah. Give him some help. But you know what? There's still 4 or 5 more running backs that will be taken over the next 2 or 3 rounds too. So you have time for that.
I'm saying that for the guard. the guard
Oh
helps
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
running
yeah,
back
yeah,
out a
yeah,
lot more too. So
yeah.
help your running back out, help your quarterback out, get Booker.
Yep, makes perfect sense.
Number 30 on the list, Buffalo Bills. They have gotten good on defense in the offseason. They got Joey Bosa. They got a little bit younger, I'll say that. So yeah, I would say with the Bills, it's got to be receiver. They're so young on the offensive line. Their defense has been rebuilt and is really solid. Their secondary's young. I mean, in a 4-3, they play the three wide receiver, one tight end set most. Even though receiver is so down on this list, Lou, I'm thinking that's where they have to go.
I mean, you got to find a playmaker somewhere. The 49ers found Brock Purdy at the last pick of the draft.
Yeah.
So if you just do your research right and find the guy that fits your system, because Buffalo's not a team just going to throw it all over the field, but they eventually have to take some of the pressure off of Josh Allen. So they
Mm-hmm.
need one of these guys that can come in here and and just perform. I mean, like this Isaiah Bond kid, I've heard about him.
Yep.
I know there's guys in front of him, but again, I'm biased to the big game guys. He's been
Mm-hmm.
in big games. He's played with really good quarterbacks. Why is he so far down on the list? Could be injuries. I don't know.
Well, it's because
But
he had
I'm
another
looking at
receiver with him in Texas. That's why. It had
it,
nothing to do with his talent. It was Texas.
there you go. There you go. He's a Mecca
Yep.
Ibuka. Everybody, oh, he's just
Exactly.
a number two. No, it's because he played with 7 number ones.
Yep.
That's why he's a number two. If that's the
Yep.
case, he's an 8. But I would look at it as Isaiah Bond right there, just because of his coaching. They have a hell of a coach. They have a hell of a program. Had a hell of a system, and they had quarterbacks. So he's used to the pressure in big game systems.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with that. I like that pick there. Even though it seems like a reach, it's not. And when you get towards these guys, it's about team needs. Who gives a crap
And
where
you're
they're
picking
ranked on a
30th.
list?
And
Do
you're
you
picking
think,
30th. How far are you reaching?
well,
So you got to
exactly.
get a player.
Do you think like the GM for Buffalo is worried about whether Mel Kiper likes his pick or not? Hell no. He's drafting what's best for his, not what makes Mel Kiper's job easier. Next on the list at
Exactly.
31 is the Super Bowl losers, the Kansas City Chiefs.
You do them dirty like that. The
Bums.
Chiefs.
They're
What do,
bums.
what do the Chiefs have lost a lot this offseason.
Yeah, I think the
But the
Chiefs.
receiving core seems to be pretty much intact.
uh,
I'm still a guy I think they need a running back. I'm not sold to Pacheco since he got that injury, and Kareem Hunt's just getting older. I mean,
Yep.
so again, I know we took Omar Hampton or Omion or whatever his first name is, Mr. Hampton out of
Yeah,
North
he's on the
Carolina.
list.
Oh no, he's on the board. Then he's off the
Yep.
board right here.
Boom.
Then he's off the board.
I like it. I like it. I totally agree. I think if they went anywhere, it'd be receiver. But if they, other than running back, it would be receiver, and that is simply because the Rashee Rice suspension is still looming.
It's looming. It's just
He's
looming.
gonna
But you
go,
still got
and when he
you got
does,
Brown, you got
you
Worthy, you have Rashid, you have the guys. But what they need is they need another running back. Because Kareem Hunt, I'm sorry, Father Time's undefeated. And Pacheco hasn't bounced back the way they had hoped he would after breaking, but
mhm,
he broke his damn leg.
right.
So not like he just didn't perform.
And the happiest team to ever draft at the end of the first round will be the Philadelphia Eagles because they have a list at positions they have lost. And you want to know what it looks like when you're playing chess and it seems like everyone else is playing checkers? This is the Eagles because they lost a ton of players to free agency this
Yeah.
year, as they should have. Guys went out and got paid. But look at how this draft set up for them. James Pierce, right there to replace Josh Sweat. Nick Emamori. I know I pronounced that name wrong, but I sounded like I knew what I was doing. He's available at safety if you feel like you need one back
Mhm.
there to help out Tristan and Reed Blankenship, which, by the way, you don't. You got
Yeah, I
Walter
think you're
Nolan.
good. Their secondary is good.
Oh, yeah. You got Walter Nolan at defensive tackle for Jordan Davis and Byron Young. You're only holding 2 of those guys right now. You are set to take whatever position you want to take here.
I mean,
What do you think they take?
I think what position, and this is my ignorance. What position did Brandon Graham play?
He was an edge rusher
That's what I'm taking.
or interior
You give me
line.
the
He was
Pierce
one of the
Jr.
2.
kid.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
you give
think
me the James Pierce kid. Because he was there 15 years. He had they need to get somebody that can, I'm not gonna say fill his shoes because that dude's a Hall of Famer. You just need
facts.
somebody that can come in there and play some football. And you bring in that kid in there out of a tough conference where teams ran the ball, you have to be physical. He can stand up to the NFC East. And the Eagles just, I know they lost a lot, but they're having an embarrassment of riches on the other side of the ball.
Oh,
And they're set at
100%.
their defensive backfield. So if you can get somebody in there to help slow that run down, you're going to be in really good shape. They have an absolute chance to go back to the Super Bowl next year.
Yes, sir, they do. I think they are going to be a fantastic team next year. I think Chiefs are going to be good if they can survive their division. The Eagles have the benefit of being in a division with only the Washington Commanders competing at the current moment. I don't think the Cowboys are competing. I don't think anybody else is.
No, it's a 2-horse race.
Yeah. I love this draft, Lou. We're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to try, not going to promise anybody anything, but we're going to try and go live draft night, at least for the first couple rounds, and see what we can call for you guys out. But that being said, we appreciate you going long in the tooth with us today. We know this was a longer show than usual. It's because Lou likes to talk, man. That being said, 6 Rings and Counting are going to pay off the internet for Lou's side of the studio so we can get him up and running again. We've been ignoring his bills. We've been ignoring the studio bills on Lou's side. I'll admit it. So for Mr. Lou Willard and that shady ass internet, I am Corey Idle. This is 6 Rings and Counting, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.